Introduction. 15 photos of Mars that scared astronomers. Scientists have found all sorts of scary and unusual objects on Mars, including human faces, cannonballs, and even a jelly donut. Let's take a look at some of the weirdest images from Mars that changed everything we know about it. Face on Mars. This one's a classic image that's also driven all sorts of intriguing theories about how this had showed up on the surface of the red planet. NASA's Viking 1 orbiter zipped near Mars in 1976 and took this now iconic image of the surface. What got everyone excited is the face-like formation in the upper center of the picture. Many people imagined it as having two eyes, a nose, and some weird hair. Some even claimed that it resembled a young Elvis Presley, with a few people asserting that it was an alien-built monument on Mars. After some research, NASA decided to further explore the infamous Mars face. A Mars global surveyor took a fresh image of the face, showing a much blobbier, less stark formation. In short, it's just a mesa and not an alien-carved religious site. Morse code on Mars. A view snapped from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter in February 2016 showed some strange formations on the surface of the red planet. The dark, raised areas were a series of dunes that looked a lot like the dots and dashes of Morse code. All the same, it's striking and almost eerily deliberate looking, the kind of thing that appears to have been created by an intelligent being. Unfortunately, the code spells out gibberish. Planetary scientist Veronica Bray analyzed the dune image and told Gizmodo that the code word reads out to me, the Mars thigh bone. Another picture that quickly sparked curiosity among the astronomy community was NASA's Curiosity rover finding what resembled a thigh bone on the red planet. In the photo description, NASA officials wrote that while this Mars rock may look like a femur thigh bone, it is not the fossilized remains of a mysterious Martian. Martian blueberries. Trying to sort out the origins of these blueberries has always involved studying similar-looking spherical formations here on Earth. New research takes its inspiration from these terrestrial analogs to offer a new idea of the chemistry that may have gone into creating these Martian blueberries. As aesthetic as the Martian blueberries look, they are nothing even remotely related to plants. The bluish balls are hematite-rich spherules spotted by NASA's Mars Opportunity rover in 2004 near the Fram crater. Martian tadpole. The next big thing spotted on Mars was the so-called Martian tadpole, a formation spotted by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. It could also be considered a yo-yo or a sperm. It's actually a circular crater with a tail that was carved out by water movement. You can infer that water there was flowing outward because the necessary terrain height information is present. While it's widely accepted that the planet had a long-distant watery past, it doesn't currently host any amphibian life, as far as we know. Martian fish. There is a fish-shaped rock on Mars, which, for some reason, shook the entire astronomy world despite there not being any actual fish on Mars, much less given the fact that there's no surface sea there. The rock shape and the lighting at the time of the photo combined to create the fishy look. NASA has something to say about the possibility of fossilized bones and animals on Mars. Mars likely never had enough oxygen in its atmosphere or elsewhere to support more complex organisms. Thus, large fossils are not likely. Martian dust devil. A mesmerizing dust jet appeared far back in a scenic Mars landscape photo taken by NASA's Opportunity rover in 2016. However, this is nothing more than a dust devil, just like the ones we have on Earth. A dust devil is a strong, well-formed, and relatively short-lived whirlwind ranging from small to large. The primary vertical motion is upward. Dust devils are usually harmless but can, on rare occasions, grow large enough to pose a threat to both people and property. Towering dust devils are weather hazards on Mars and are something future human visitors will need to be prepared to handle.
Waffle-shaped island on Mars. Next up, we have a waffle-shaped island on Mars, spotted by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter in late 2014. The 1.2-mile wide feature is located in an area of lava flows. It's not evidence of waffle irons on Mars, but it might be the result of lava pushing the formation up from below. Of all the things that astronomers could find on the red planet, dragon scales rank high on the unexpected list. Resembling a dragon scale from Game of Thrones, most fantasy and science fiction fans will be disappointed to learn that the scaly pattern on Mars doesn't come from a mythical creature. Instead, it's the result of ancient landscape processes involving erosion. The nature of the water responsible for the alteration and how it interacted with the rock to form the clay remains poorly understood. Martian spoon. A suspended spoon is probably one of the least interesting things you'll find on the Martian surface. Yet, a long-handled spoon stretching out over the landscape was spotted by NASA's Curiosity rover. Fred K., a sharp-eyed contributor to the unmanned spaceflight forums, noticed the funny shape in a raw image taken by Curiosity during Mars Sol 1089, which translates to August 30th for us. It looks like a long-handled spoon delicately stretching out over the landscape, hovering above its own shadow. Mars bright light. Number 6. NASA's Curiosity rover sent back a curious photo in 2014 showing a blip of light on the horizon of Mars. The image excited UFO enthusiasts, who speculated about the light source and wondered if it might be evidence of alien activity. NASA scientist Doug Ellison dampened the extraterrestrial excitement with the explanation that the blip was likely caused by a cosmic ray hit, the result of high-energy particles flying through space. Mars Curiosity rover's missing plastic piece. Next up, we have a piece of the Mars Curiosity rover, which has been at the center of many unusual object sightings on the planet. A famous incident occurred in 2012 when the rover noticed a shiny object on the ground that didn't match its surroundings. Speculation ranged from jokes about cufflinks to suggestions it was an AOL CD. However, NASA explained it as a small plastic piece from the rover itself. Marsalanche. Another intriguing and rather aesthetic picture, instead of scary, is the famous Marsalanche. This event, an avalanche on a steep Martian cliff, created a stunning image. A cloud of particles puffed upward at a steep cliff in a 2010 image from NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. According to NASA, this sort of event happens mainly during the planet's springtime, which roughly corresponds to April and early May on Earth. In May, ice blocks took a swan dive down a 1,640-foot, 500-meter, cliff face, triggering a huge dust cloud in the process. That cloud is on full display in the image, which completely captivated astronomers. Martian cannonball. In December 2017, a well-known blog for UFO enthusiasts posted a close-up of a spherical object spotted by NASA's Curiosity rover. The blog suggested it was a cannonball left over from a war on Mars. NASA's rover team responded with a Twitter message pointing out that the concretion is less than a quarter-inch wide and is actually made of minerals, not cannonball material and certainly not remnants of a Martian war. The sphere is composed of calcium sulfate, sodium, and magnesium. Jelly donut. Yes, even jelly donuts have been spotted in Martian pictures. A jelly donut-shaped object appeared rather suddenly in a set of before and after images from NASA's Opportunity rover on Mars. Some people believed it to be an alien fungus, but NASA debunked that theory. Apparently, the rock was dislodged when the rover drove over it. If there's one thing we can be sure of, it's that NASA still hasn't found any snacks on Martian soil. Labyrinth of the Night. Another intriguing image spotted by NASA's Reconnaissance Orbiter is the bizarre-looking formation in a region known as the Labyrinth of the Night, or Noctis labyrinthus. This region is composed of clusters of sand dunes, boulders, and sedimentary deposits on the Martian surface. As these features eroded, they created a mystifying yet intriguing layered mesa. If these images of Mars didn't scare you speechless, then you might want to check out our other videos too.